In a serene but modest neighborhood in Onitsha, Anambra State, Nigeria, where the streets were lined with ancient mango trees and the air carried the scent of blossoming hibiscus, lived the Ibe family. Mr. Uma Ibe and his wife, Mrs. Mma Ibe, were known for their tireless work ethics, yet, no matter how hard they toiled, financial stability remained elusive. Their modest bungalow, painted in faded blue, stood as a silent testament to their struggles and unfulfilled dreams. They had 3 children, Obinna, the eldest son, who at 16 was the pride of the family, Adora, their lively 14-year-old daughter, and Udodirim, the youngest at 10, born with legs that couldn't support her weight. Udodirim's disability had overshadowed the joy of her birth. Whispers of superstitions and bad luck followed her arrival, and over time, her family came to view her not as a blessing, but as a burden. Each day began before dawn in the Ibe household. At the first crow of a rooster, Mr. Ibe would sit up on his creaky bed, rubbing his calloused hands together before slipping into his worn slippers. His taxi work awaited, a daily battle against the potholed road and demanding passengers of Onitsha. In the kitchen, Mma prepared breakfast. The aroma of boiling pap mingled with the earthly scent of akara frying in sizzling oil. Obinna, strong and dutiful, fetched water from the community borehole, balancing the heavy jerrycan on his shoulder. Adora swept the compound with swift, rhythmic strokes of her broom, humming a tune she had picked from school. As they walked, they shared a quiet conversation about their teachers and classmates. Udodirim lay awake in her small room, listening to the morning bustle. She often traced patterns on the wall with her fingers, imagining herself running and playing with other kids. She wished she was allowed to come out of the house to mingle with other children, but her family was so ashamed of her that they will not take her out with them when they went out. Udodirim was not even enrolled in a school, as her parents thought it was a waste of resources, given her disabilities. When her siblings walked off to school, she did nothing but stay at home and cry, wishing that her life were like that of other children. Her parents were not even kind to her with words, and she barely got a chance to put a smile on her parents' face. Mr. Ibe's taxi was a rickety Peugeot 504, its yellow paint peeling, and its seats worn thin. Every day was a test of endurance as he ferried traders to the bustling market, children to school, office workers to their job. Midday, he would park under a large udala tree to eat his lunch, usually his jollof rice wrapped in banana leaves. He'd watch hawkers weave through the traffic, selling everything from roasted groundnuts to sachets of water. Despite his relentless efforts, his earnings were barely enough to cover fuel costs, let alone the household's growing expenses. The constant breakdown of his taxi drained what little he managed to save, adding to his frustrations. Mma spent her mornings at her akara store near a busy junction. Her store was simple, a wooden table covered with a faded umbrella, but it was her lifeline. Regular customers like Mama Okoro greeted her warmly. "Good morning, Mama Obinna. How is business?" she'd ask. "Not so good," Mma would reply with a forced smile, her voice tinged with worry. Business had grown tougher as newer, flashier stores opened nearby, drawing her regulars away. By the end of most days, Mma returned home with aching legs and a heavy heart, her small earnings a reminder of the family's precarious situation. At St. Mary's Secondary School, Obinna was determined to excel. A gifted student, he harbored dreams of becoming an engineer, but the weight of his family's financial struggles dampened his optimism. During lunch breaks, he'd meet with his friends under the shade of a mango tree. "Have you heard about the science competition?" his friend Chike asked one day. "Yes," Obinna replied wistfully, "but the registration fee is too high." Adora, overhearing their conversation, clenched her fist in frustration. She admired her brother's ambition, but understood the harsh realities of their financial limitations. Back at home, Udodirim spent her days surrounded by discarded items her parents had outgrown. She had a knack for creating beauty out of scraps. Dolls stitched from old fabrics, drawings made with charcoal on paper. These creations were her escape, her way of imagining a world where she was valued. One afternoon, Mama Nkechi, their neighbor, knocked on the door. When Udodirim wheeled herself to answer, Mama Nkechi smiled warmly. "Good afternoon, my dear. Is your mother home?" "No, ma. She's at her store," Udodirim replied softly. "All right, please tell her I stopped by." After the exchange, a small smile lingered on Udodirim's face. Moments like these, rare as they were, made her feel seen. One evening, after another frustrating day for the family, Udodirim broke her usual silence. "Papa," she said quietly, "if you go to Nkwo Market tomorrow, you will meet someone who will help you." Her words drew sharp glances. Mr. Ibe frowned. What kind of nonsense is this? But Mma, desperate for any solution, urged him to go. The next day at Nkwo Market, Mr. Ibe ran into Ebuka, an old friend he hadn't seen in years. Ebuka, now a successful tricycle operator, offered to give him a loan to start his own keke tricycle business. When Mr. Ibe returned home and shared the news, the family was astonished. For the first time, they began to wonder if there was more to Udodirim than they had realized. Over the weeks that followed, Udodirim's quiet insights continued to prove accurate. She encouraged Mma to move her Akara store to a busier corner, a suggestion that doubled her sales. She advised Obinna to enter the science competition, moved by the changes Mma experienced in her business due to Udodirim's intuitive counsel. She gathered all the money she had at the time and sent Obinna for the science competition. Though skeptical, Obinna registered and won first place, securing a scholarship for his university education. The family's fortune began to shift, but their attitudes towards Udodirim remained lukewarm. While they acknowledged her role in their success, they still treated her as an afterthought, their lingering shame blinding them to her true worth. One day, Mrs. Okeke, a wealthy woman from the neighborhood, visited the Ibes. She had heard of Udodirim's predictions and sought her help. Udodirim, with her usual calm, told Mrs. Okeke where to find a missing heirloom. When it was recovered, Mrs. Okeke, overwhelmed with gratitude, spread the word about the young girl. Soon, the family's financial woes disappeared almost overnight. They renovated their home, bought a new keke for Mr. Ibe, and even enrolled Udodirim in a special school for children with disabilities. Despite their newfound prosperity, guilt gnawed at Mr. and Mrs. Ibe. One evening, as the family gathered in their renovated living room, Mma spoke hesitantly. "My child," she said, her voice breaking, "can you ever forgive us for how we treated you?" Udodirim, wise beyond her years, smiled gently. "Mama, I forgave you long ago. Love is stronger than pain." Her words moved the entire family. From that moment, they resolved to treat her with the love and respect she had always deserved. As word of Udodirim's story spread, other families with disabled children began to learn from the Ibes to treat their disabled loved ones with love and respect. Any chance Udodirim's parents got with their friends, they spoke about Udodirim and the mistakes they had earlier made, being ashamed of a special child without realizing how much they hurt her and invariably hurt the entire family. One day at their special school, Udodirim spoke at the school's morning assembly, addressing other children with disabilities. Udodirim said, Every person has value, no matter their circumstances. If you have found yourself with any disability or the other, don't despair. Hold your head high and harness the strengths that God planted in you. While we keep on loving ourselves, irrespective of our challenges, let us extend love and understanding to people around us as we hope to build a world where everyone is seen for their potentials. The applause was thunderous, and thus Udodirim's grace began to impact on other children in her special school. Years later, each member of the Ibe family had found their path. Obinna graduated as an engineer, securing a prestigious job. Adora became a teacher, passionate about nurturing the young minds. Mma expanded her business, running a thriving catering service. With the help of a foundation, Udodirim opened a center for arts and crafts, providing training and opportunities for disabled individuals. Her work gained national recognition, and she was invited to speak at a conference, sharing her journey of resilience and hope. At home, the family enjoyed the simple pleasure of life, their bond stronger than ever. They often reflected on how far they had come, grateful for the lessons they had learned. In the quiet streets of Onitsha, the story of the crippled fortune bearer became a legend. It served as a reminder that every individual has inherent worth and that miracles often come from the most unexpected places. This is the end of the story. Thank you very much for watching. Could you tell us in the comment section what part of the world you're watching from? Would want to connect with you. And please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, could you click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell? Your subscription is your way of supporting what we're doing on this channel. And I can assure you that it won't cost you anything from your end. Please do subscribe, okay? Thank you so much. Please share your thoughts about the story in the comment section. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Just click on the like button. Okay, thank you so much. See you in the next video. But until then, remain blessed and prosper in all you do. Bye.